probably need to apologize in advance before we go any further, but let's quickly go over that weather forecast. On a serious note, everyone keep an eye on the weather today because there is a chance for some severe thunderstorms or heavy winds, rather, so just keep an eye on that. 77 degrees already this morning, going to be another hot day. High temperatures around 99. Pretty much ditto for tomorrow, hopefully less the severe weather, and that's really about it. Sticking around 99 every day for the next few days, or should I say week anyway. There's your forecast. Just
well,
hot.
It is July.
It is. That's
means
right.
It's hot. All right, we got an interesting situation up here today. Kenny, how long you been a Huntsville police officer?
15 years, sir.
This is your friend, Jason. Want to introduce
Nathan.
Jason? What his deal is with you?
Go ahead, Nathan.
Well, we own a company called Anabolic Creations. And, we do supplementation, and we sponsor Kenny as one of our athletes.
All right. When you say sponsor him,
Competitions or just
yes, sir.
working out?
See, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know. When you think of a sponsored athlete, you think of someone being paid. Well, we don't pay Kenny. We allow him. We open up the resources for him to be able to compete.
And your products are what?
Everything from energy products to proteins. We've got a long line.
Can you get a lot of those at Herbs and More?
Yes, you can get them at Herbs and More. You can also go to Anabolic Creations. We're getting the majority of them in Herbs and More, and what we're doing right now with the website is we're donating 50% of all sales to kind of help.
I want you to explain that to show the reason that you're up here.
Yes,
Kenny, what is your situation? Why are you soliciting
He's trying to raise some money.
funds to help pay for the situation you're in? Tell us the situation.
Well, I got married at a young age with my ex-wife. We were in college. Me being young and dumb made my mistakes as a man, which kind of contributed to the divorce as well. But 10 years ago, I got a divorce. I helped my ex-wife buy a house for her and the kids, and I was giving her right at $867 a month. After
How many children?
2 children. Yes, they're 16 and 13 now. Wonderful kids. We're both blessed parents. But after about 2 or 3 years, the kids started staying with me on the majority of the time, 5 to 6 days a week. Sometimes, it was about equal between the two of us. And it come a point where she realized that as well. So she was giving me half the child support back. And then it come to a point where I'm like, I really just need this not to come out of my check. So I got a lawyer, filed a Pendolite here, and they stopped taking it out of my check, and I was just giving her $300 a month. We finally went to court, bickered back and forth. It was kind of really useless, to be honest with you. We shouldn't have done it, but it happened. And when we got to court, the judge stepped out and said, I'm going to give you guys time to work this out. So we kind of bickered back and forth, and in the court, we agreed on just to keep it $300 a month, everything kind of status quo.
Now, you have the children most of the time at this point?
Yes, ma'am. I had calendars for the last 4 years with documentation where they were with me on the majority, 75 to 85% of the time at that point. Not that she's a bad mother by no means. They were just staying with me on a more regular basis. And then, so then we had this agreement, and lo and behold, I didn't realize this, and since then I've been paying her the $300 a month. And but our kids do all types of sports and activities, and for the majority I pay for those as well. Never ask anything, cell phones, everything. But my oldest daughter turned 16 in April. Me and Julie were unable to obtain a car because of the financial situation, so my father-in-law helped us get a car for my daughter. And then, we sent her pictures, and she was like, oh, yeah.
You're talking about your ex-father-in-law or your
current father-in-law now. My current father-in-law
He's
now.
remarried and
I'm
has
remarried.
another child.
The pictures we're seeing are your wife now, and you have 2 other daughters.
Yes, sir.
So your current wife is involved in the girls' lives as well?
Yes, ma'am. If it wasn't for her, our kids wouldn't be able to do a lot of things because she stays at home and takes them and does things. So, and that's our dog as well. So, my only son. But so and I'm not real sure. They put a stereo in her car. Everything seemed to be fine, and all of a sudden she was just disappointed in it. So, a few weeks ago, I go online looking at my check for leave time because I was going to take off during the 4th, and I noticed that it was $400 short. So, I called payroll, and they're like, yeah, we have paperwork from the court saying this. So she had went up there and told the courts or filed a paperwork saying that I was back child support, you know, in the rears, yes, and I hadn't been paying. You know, I have documentation, I wrote checks and everything, and, you know, maybe I should have handled that a little differently as far as the car, but, you know, it was the car that our daughter picked out.
Right.
You know, it had nothing to do with whether I decided to or not. And it was very affordable. You know, but, you know, and I just expected her to pay half of the car, and I was still paying the insurance and everything. So, you know, this is kind of taking a toll. I mean, and, you know, when you're not expecting $400 to come out of your check, every paycheck is $386 or something like that. So, you know, somebody come to me and say, you know, maybe you should try this to help raise your money. But, you know, the retainer fees are $3,000. You know, and that's not something I want to do. I've made contact with her.
What happened? Why wasn't it? Was it just
A technicality?
Well, it was a technicality. What happened is once we made that agreement in court between the two of us, our lawyers and my ex, our lawyers were supposed to put it in paperwork so the judge to sign off.
Right.
Yes, sir. And that didn't, you know, and I've talked to the court reporter at the time. She's in the process of getting me the transcripts from the court report. And, you know, and I've talked to several lawyers. And anytime two people agree to something in court, we're the lawyers, and they tell that to the judge, at that point in time it becomes order, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem is, it was never put in paper, so when it come back across Judge Hall's desk, she signed off on the original order for everything to remain like it was. So, you know, but this whole time, for the last 2.5 years since we went to court, I've been paying $300. You know, every paycheck I give her a check, and, you know, and then the car situation come up, and it, you know, I guess it made her mad or disappointed or whatever, and she went back there on her own and filed this paperwork.
So where do you stand right now?
Now you stand. You have to hire an attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
You're already
Well, I've
short
already
of
filed the
paycheck.
appeal. Yes, ma'am. I've already filed the appeal to
not
the
cheap.
the withholding order. So, and they haven't set a hearing date at that point. But now, you know, I have to hire a lawyer, and we have to go through the whole process again. So, and it could get super expensive.
So you're just actually
you're preaching to the
asking
choir
people.
if
Yeah, I
you're telling me
know.
something.
Yes, sir, I
Something
know.
like this.
You know, but I've made via text trying to say, hey, let's sit down and try to figure this out with the kids, so they know what's going on. They're old enough; they're 16 and 13. Not that we're dragging them in, and I'm not trying to say there's any bad parenting. We're both great parents, okay?
You're
but
just asking for fun.
That's right. That's right. So I can go take care of this and make the wrong right again.
Now, so far on this GoFundMe, you've been able this morning. This was as of this morning, $24.66 has been donated.
Yes,
to you.
ma'am. Yes.
Now, out of everyone, when we first publicized that you were going to be on the show, I did receive a total of 5 negative emails. Other than that, everything has been very supportive. I mean, you're talking about 100 good, 5 negative ones, and you've left those comments on your GoFund page for people to see.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've answered them.
Yes, ma'am. And because of this, everybody that knows me truly knows me that my kids come first and foremost before everything. Yes, I was not a great husband. I'll be the first to admit that, but I'm a damn good dad. Okay, that's what I do. You know, I do for my kids. I do without. You know, I got rid of my vehicles. I mean, I do for my kids, and my kids are my world. And to take them away and to manipulate them to make them think that I'm the bad guy, you know, it hurts my heart.
You don't have them full time anymore, or 75%?
Oh, since this happened the last few weeks, you know, the girls they're not picking and choosing. They're trying to stay away from it all, and I understand that.
You just took away a 16-year-old's car and cut off all their cell phones. You're the bad guy.
Yes, ma'am. That's the way it appears.
Oh.
But the money that I was paying for those things are going to their mother now.
Yeah.
You know,
So you're just kind of in a catch.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
You know, it's a
It's
having been there
sad.
and done a lot of that. You know, basically you get screwed.
That's
I
correct.
mean,
In
through
the
the legal
interim,
system.
yeah.
I mean, there ain't no other way to say it. I know Dan represents people all the time in situations like that. You know, it's just you get so frustrated.
If you get
And
divorced today and there's children, that doesn't mean 5-10 years
You
from
know,
now you're back in it.
And it comes to a point where you, as an adult, says you just have to move on and do what's best for the kids and not yourself. You know, and that's the way I feel. I mean, and as far as the comments, I have nothing to hide. You know,
So
like I
basically, how much you think this is going to cost you?
It just depends on, you know. Well, I know it's going to cost $3,000 just for a retainer fee, but I've got a
And it
friend that
never
went.
should have happened.
Never should have. I mean, we
Y'all
could have
had
sat down
an
and figured it.
agreement.
Yes,
Wasn't
yes, sir.
filed properly.
Through the
Yes, sir.
court.
Judge signs off on the previous order.
Yes, sir. So now we're in the
And then you have to
process
live
of.
with it.
Yes, sir. And now we're in the process. And my thing is, if this was an issue, why did you wait 2.5 years to say that I haven't been paying what I'm supposed to? That's the thing. She knows, and it was agreed in court in front of the judge, and it's going to be on the transcripts. I mean, they're in the process.
You can use the transcript.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I contacted Ms. Tidmore, which was the court report at the
You have
time.
to go through the appeal.
Yeah, well, she has to just put it on paper, and I take it to the appeal. Yes, sir.
All right, Jason, again, how can people help through your company? What do they need to purchase? And how do they need to find out about it?
My Fund.
Well, first of all, anabolicreations.com, creations with a K. Once again, it's a supplement line. We also carry, we're the only company that carries Sweeney nutrition products. But what we're doing is 50% of all sales are going towards helping Kenny out in this situation.
That's a big deal.
I mean, hey, I feel for you, man. Been there, done that.
We were in court. When we were in court.
And I hate it for my girls. I mean, ultimately, they're the ones
suffer
that...
the most, but
That's correct.
And in most situations, the mother of the kids, I'm not saying it's with your ex-wife, but I'm saying it was with mine, they use that child as a pawn. That's the only thing they got to hurt you with, and they use it to their advantage.
Most women do. You're right. You're right.
Exactly. And the one thing I'll say about Kenny, you know, like I said, we've really been around each other over these 3 years. Ever since the day I met him, the first thing you learn about is those little girls. That's the first thing you know about. You never see Kenny without a smile, and you don't ever see him with a negative attitude. So, that's why, it's important to us to help out as much and be a part of it.
But all I can say is there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There is.
It will work out the way it was meant to be.
Yes, sir. I truly do.
And I just, I feel for you. We've been there. And you get so mad and frustrated with the whole system.
Well, yeah.
You're going,
because in the meantime, you're the one having to figure out a way to compensate for that what's been taken away from you.
And I've always worked 2 jobs to help give them what they need.
And being a police officer is...
Y'all go fund me, help him out here. Just get the man is telling a true story here. So hey, do what you can. Kenny, it's a pleasure to meet both of y'all. Saw you the other day at Herbs and More. Thanks for coming up, playing the game, and keep us posted on what's happening with the custody battle with your girls and everything.
I will. Thank you, sir, for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Pleasure to meet y'all. Let's take a break. Come back. Y'all, hang on.